Every famous gem keeps two histories, the one in the documents and the one in the stories. No stone carries a heavier second history than the Hope Diamond. The legend is told like this. Somewhere in India, a temple statue sat with a great blue diamond for an eye. A thief pried the eye loose, and the goddess cursed every hand that would ever touch the stone. It is a marvelous story. It is also, almost certainly, an invention. Historians trace tales like this to Victorian writers. The Hope's cursed origin in particular, they say was invented in the early 20th century to add mystique and help the stone sell. The documents tell a quieter tale. In the 1660s, a French merchant named Jean-Baptiste Tavernier crossed to India, trading in gems. He came home with a rough blue diamond of about 112 carats, likely, tradition holds, from the famed mines of Golconda. There is no theft in his memoirs and no temple. There is a purchase. Tavernier sold the Great Blue to King Louis XIV of France, along with roughly 1,000 other diamonds, for 220,000 livres. And the cause's first victim? Legend claims Tavernier himself was later torn apart by wild dogs. The record disagrees. He lived past 80 and died of natural causes. That is how this whole story will go. A magnificent legend walking beside the plain facts and the facts, again and again, quietly shaking their head. Louis XIV did not leave his new treasure as he found it. Indian cutting favored size, the French court favored fire. Sometime in the 1670s, sources disagree on the exact year, the king had his court jeweler, Pitau, recut the Great Blue. The stone emerged smaller, about 67 carats, and far more brilliant. In the royal inventories, it took a grander name, the Blue Diamond of the Crown. The world would remember it more simply, as the French blue. Its color ran dark and strange for a diamond, not sky blue, but a deep, steely blue, closer to ink than to ice. For the Sun King, who built his reign around light and spectacle, a blue sun of his own must have been irresistible. 2 generations later, the diamond rose higher still. Around 1749, King Louis XV had the French blue mounted into an insignia of the Order of the Golden Fleece. The piece was an emblem of chivalry crusted with gems, among them a great red spinel called the Côte de Bretagne. This was not jewelry for dinner parties. It was regalia, a statement of power, brought out rarely, and guarded always. And there the story rests for 40 years. A cursed stone? Nothing in the record suggests the French court ever thought so. The kings of France lived beside the blue diamond for over a century, and regarded it, simply, as the finest thing they owned. In 1789, revolution came to France. The monarchy fell, and the king and queen were imprisoned. The crown jewels, the diamonds of a hated dynasty, sat in a royal storehouse in Paris called the Garde Meuble. They were guarded about as well as you might fear. Paris had larger worries that autumn than a warehouse full of jewels. In mid-September of 1792, while riots swept the city, thieves broke into the storehouse. Not once. Night after night, for 5 nights, they came back and helped themselves. By the time anyone acted, most of the French crown jewels were gone. It remains one of the greatest jewel thefts in history, and one of the strangest a robbery in slow motion, in the middle of a revolution. In the years that followed, many of the jewels were found again, among them other pieces of the Golden Fleece insignia. The French blue was not. One account holds that a thief carried it out of Paris and on to London, though historians handle that detail with caution. What is certain is the silence. The most famous blue diamond in Europe simply vanished from the record, no confirmed trace, for 20 years. Kings had owned it. A revolution had swallowed it. When a great blue diamond finally surfaced again, it would carry a different shape, a different weight, and in time a different name. And proving the connection would take 213 years. September 1812. London.
A merchant named Daniel Eliasson has a blue diamond, and a dealer named John Francilian writes a careful record of it.
It is the same shape, the same size, and the same rare deep blue as the stone the world now calls the Hope. This memorandum is the first fixed point in the Hope diamond's documented life. Everything earlier, on this stone's side of the channel, is inference. And the date raises an eyebrow. The record appears in London just as the 20-year limit for prosecuting the 1792 theft ran out, almost to the day. Historians call that timing suggestive. Suggestive, not proven. To this day, no one knows who recut the French blue, or where, or exactly when. By 1839, the diamond appears in the published catalogue of a London banking heir named Henry Philip Hope. From his family, it takes the name it still carries. He died that same year, and his nephews fought over the collection for a decade, but the name held. The final proof came astonishingly late. In 2005, Smithsonian mineralogist Jeffrey Post and his colleagues rebuilt the French blue inside the computer. They worked from old drawings, written accounts, and laser scans of the Hope. Their conclusion: the Hope diamond had almost certainly been cut down from the stolen French blue. 2 years later, a lead cast of the French blue turned up in a Paris museum collection, and the match grew stronger still. The legend never needed a proof. The facts waited 2 centuries for theirs. The curse, as the world knows it, was born in a showroom. By 1901, the diamond's owner, Lord Francis Hope, had burned through his fortune. After a long legal fight, a court allowed him to sell the family stone and pay his debts. The diamond passed through dealers, crossed the Atlantic, and reached a man who understood exactly what a story is worth: the jeweler Pierre Cartier. Cartier had a buyer in mind, Evelyn Walsh McLean, a young American heiress with a taste for spectacular jewels. Historians say he gathered the tabloid rumors around the stone, embroidered them, and pitched the diamond wrapped in its curse. It worked. Around 1911, the McLeans agreed to buy the Hope diamond at a price most accounts put near $180,000. The exact figure, fittingly, depends on who tells the story. The press did the rest. In 1911, a New York newspaper printed a long list of the curse's supposed victims. May Yohe, the actress once married to Lord Francis Hope, blamed the stone for her own misfortunes. She later backed a film serial that added invented characters to the legend outright. Each retelling added another victim or two. Yet even then, sober voices objected. A Jewelers Trade Weekly noted that same year that no ill luck had ever been recorded for the diamond's actual owners. Nobody wanted to hear it. A true curse is a poor story. But a good story, repeated often enough, becomes a curse. Evelyn Walsh McLean wore the Hope diamond everywhere for the rest of her life. And her life gave the legend everything it needed. Her 9-year-old son, Vincent, was struck by a car and killed in 1919. Her husband, Ned, sank into alcoholism, was declared legally insane, and died in a psychiatric hospital in 1941. Her daughter died in 1946, at 24. The inquest ruled it an accidental overdose of sleeping pills. Evelyn herself died the following spring. Those are documented facts. They are also, exactly, the kind of grief that visits families who own no diamonds at all. The curse does not explain them. It only points at them. Meanwhile, the curse's older victims were dissolving under scrutiny. A French dealer, said to be ruined by the stone, turns out to have no recorded connection to it. A merchant's bankruptcy came in a downturn that ruined half his trade beside him. And one former owner, Selim Habib, was reported drowned in a shipwreck near Singapore. Historians checked. A different man, with the same name, had died in that wreck. The diamond's owner was elsewhere, alive. The curse's best evidence keeps turning out to be someone else's story. That is the pattern all the way down.
Real tragedies, borrowed tragedies, and invented ones, all strung on a single blue thread.
Because a cursed diamond sells newspapers, sells film serials, and above all, sells diamonds. The stone itself never did anything but sit still and shine. The diamond's last private owner handled the curse like a businessman. In 1949, the New York jeweler, Harry Winston, bought Evelyn Walsh McLean's entire jewel collection from her estate. For nearly a decade, he toured the Hope Diamond across America in an exhibition he called the Court of Jewels. Then, in 1958, he gave it away to the Smithsonian Institution as the heart of a national gem collection. How do you ship the most famous diamond in the world? Winston used the post office. He wrapped the Hope in plain brown paper and sent it by registered first-class mail. The postage came to $2.44, plus about $143 of insurance. It's the safest way to mail gems, he told a Washington newspaper. I've sent gems all over the world that way. 2 days later, a mail carrier named James Todd delivered the package. He admitted his hands shook a little. From all the cameras, he said. Not the curse. At the Smithsonian, the legend finally met the laboratory. The Hope weighs 45.52 carats. Its blue comes from traces of boron caught inside the crystal. And after ultraviolet light, the stone glows in the dark like an ember for nearly a minute. Today it may be the most visited object in the entire museum, admired by millions. 4 centuries. 3 names. 1 invented curse. The Hope Diamond never needed one. Its true story: fire, kings, revolution, science, and a $2 postage stamp was always better than the legend.